we only have control over FAAN security. Now we have other security people that are in the airport, and we have also been talking to the officers, to the superiors, to see how we can be able to address these problems, because it's really a problem that is not just restricted to the airport alone.
Yes, there are other security agencies at the airport, but they're all working under FAAN. FAAN is in charge of the airport overall, isn't it?
That is how it's supposed to be. But when a FAAN security man does not even carry a gun, and you have another security man he's working with carrying a gun, your guess is as good as mine, who is in charge. So these are some of the issues that we try to address that limit us, but do not stop us from looking at how to resolve these issues.
I have a question, or a couple of questions I'll take, but before I ask that question, we have a caller on the line. Tunji is calling from Agodo. Yes, Tunji, good morning. Your point very quickly.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Okay, we just lost Tunji there. Now, let me go very quickly into my question. Number one, what is the rule on recording or taking pictures at the airport?
Well, in the first place, we are trying to liberalize. We are a democracy. So those restrictions that used to be there are being, tampered a bit. But whether you are allowed or not, you have your camera, you have your phone. Most of the phones have camera. What we are saying is we believe that security is everybody's business, and we all have roles to play. If you refuse to give that bribe, if you have documented evidence, it helps.
I just want to break it down a little bit now. If I go to Heathrow, Gatwick, Charles de Gaulle, anywhere, I'm able to stand and take picture. In fact, I'll find security men who will say, okay, look, there are two of you, let me help you. You will find that. But in Nigerian airport, it's the moment you bring out a camera and it flashes, somebody is coming to you saying there's security, they're not going to let you take it.
I think that is in the past, Kayode. Don't forget that we are trying to do
we're allowed
a lot
now
of changes. Yes, I see people with their phone taking pictures just last week at the international airport.
The reason I'm asking that question is because if there is a rule for many years and some of the security agencies that are within the airport are not aware that there is a change to that rule and they're fighting with you and struggling to get your camera off you, then it creates a situation where you find it difficult to do what the gentleman that recorded, the police officer that was trying to take bribe. You can't do that at the airport because they'll tell you you're not allowed to record.
No, like I said, just last week, I saw people taking pictures. I saw a couple that just came back. There was this hug and people were just taking shots. There is different.
So it's not allowed.
It's now allowed.
It's allowed, but the security also are careful about those who are there for probably different reasons, because when you see somebody with a different agenda, you are also careful. They want to find out what are you doing, where are you from, and that's the work of the security. But also I want to state that we have also improved in terms of safety and security, in terms of equipment. Right now we are installing machines at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport that will be able to, apart from the CCTV camera, that will also to do the body scanners, back scanners, electronically, in addition to the physical body searches. All that is to be able to operate within the confines of international conventions when it comes to safety and security.
So the issue of people being able to, being required to remove their jacket, remove their belt, remove their shoes and almost everything, that might be a thing of the past?
No, that is everywhere in the world. If you go, you have to do that. And that is because of the growing threat of terrorism across the world. So we tighten security and ensure that we don't leave any loopholes, because the moment you tighten on this, they like to break in on another. But it gives us additional edge in terms of scrutiny of what comes in and what goes out.
Okay, we've got a caller on the line. Sorry, Alero. We're getting quite a few calls here. From Yola in Adamawa, Abioye. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Please go ahead, make your point quickly.
Yeah, I want to say this opportunity. Morning, sir.
Please go ahead and make your point very quickly. Thank you. And reduce
to
the volume of your
authority,
TV set.
the FAAN authority for the airport. But in addition, for the security situation...
Oh, we just lost them. Okay. Alera, your question you were going to ask.
Yes. Now, for the benefit of other young, courageous boys who may want to try this out, is FAAN planning to have any kind of campaign to warn young people, you know, adventurous young people, of the danger of what this boy did? Because we have seen in other climes how people have hidden in wheel wells and have actually died before the plane even got one quarter of, you know, of the way to its destination.
In fact, that is one of the reasons why I'm even here, to begin to create that enlightenment. Because for Daniel, he's lucky that he came out alive. And we thank God that he came alive. In fact, it's more like a miracle for him to survive a 35 minutes flight. And like some of the experts have said, it's because the flight didn't go higher than 21,000 meters above. So he was able to get some oxygen. But it's very, very dangerous. And the only way to get across to fulfill our ambition, we try to tell young people, is try to go to school. And we need mentors. We need people who will be role models, who will talk to these young people and assist them on how to achieve their dreams. Like we always tell people, Nigeria is one country where from nobody you can be somebody. And all it takes is hard work and dexterity.
Okay. So far, have you had any inkling, or do you have any inkling from the security agencies as to what actually his motive was?
Well, they are still investigating. You know, we handed over to the state security, and until they finish their investigation, we may not have any information. In fact, 2 days ago, the mother showed up at the airport in Benin, and we advised her to also see the state security. Probably she must have given some useful information. But we know that at the end of the day, there are a lot of people that probably sometimes, some may even require some psychological attention, some mentoring, some, you know, so there is quite a lot. Because for a young lad of 13 to see a plane about to take off and jump in, there's more to it. Okay,
one of the questions some people are still asking is a question I asked before. How many incidents of stowaway have we had in Nigeria?
Well, we had one, I think this is about the second. The first one, which I recall, is last year, which was also discovered in one of the planes that came in from London. And we discovered a stowaway he did not survive. So we are still investigating to find out at what point. Well, we wouldn't know. He wasn't alive for us to even investigate.
But where was he found?
He was found at the airport here in Lagos, but the plane arrived from London. So sometimes you don't even know where they get him because they are not alive to tell their story. Like the case of Daniel. If he was found dead, we would have wondered where he joined the plane from, because it's based on the investigation, preliminary investigation, that we even knew where it started. It started in Benin. So it's very difficult to tell.
Okay, we've got a caller on the line. Good morning. We will do what we've always said, Vandu, reduce the volume of your TV set and then tell us what your comment will be.
Hello.
What's your comment? Go ahead, please.
Okay, I actually want to find out from Mr. Bati if the industry, I'm talking about the aviation industry, takes training and retraining very seriously on the security personnel they have in the FAAN. Because it is one of the most vital aspects, you know, of any organization. It's an aspect that should not be taken so lightly. How well do you train your security staff or security workers, as you call in FAAN?
Okay.
Do you just put them there, they work, receive salaries, and that's all? The aviation industry is an industry that should always be updoing when it comes to security. It is not something that you want to take for granted for any reason. So please, I want you to really tell us as Nigerians, what do you do when it comes to training and retraining of your staff, security staff in the aviation industry? Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, in fact, training is very, very important, and that is why in the Federal Airport Authority we have a department dedicated to just training, and we pay special attention to training of aviation security. And like I mentioned earlier, that is because of the performance of our security personnel and what we have on ground that even ICAO, the world body, recognized and crowned our efforts at operating above the requirements in terms of security. So we're not above average, above the requirements. So we are doing a lot in terms of training. We are also looking at the capacity, because we also have a workforce that is aged. So we are looking at bringing in younger hands, training, bringing in professionals, and training and retraining. The issue of training is something that has to be ongoing, and we'll continue to do that. But I'm also saying that happy that with the four international airports that will soon be built in Lagos, Abuja, Kano and Port Harcourt, will be able to, it's coming in with state-of-the-art security equipment in addition to the 22 airports that are currently being remodeled. So at the end of the day, we are looking at a situation where Nigeria will be able to assume her pride of place as the hub of aviation in Africa. And most importantly also, if I may add, is that this minister and Princess Odua is looking at turning aviation into a revenue earner. And that is why about 14 of the airports have been designated as cargo for the export of perishable products. I mean, the statistics available to us shows that in the year 2010, about $245 billion was made in the exports of perishables, things like fresh fish, mangoes, vegetables, from countries like pineapples, flowers, from countries like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa. Nigeria's participation was zero. Meanwhile, we have these products in abundance, and that in itself will be able to open up. And for some of you that are frequent flyers, you know that the kind of mangoes or oranges you take up there cannot compete with what we have here. So, which means given the opportunity, our products can compete very well internationally.
In parenthesis, before you go, since you're talking about 4 new international airports, I hope that they have sitting / waiting areas for people waiting to receive people coming into the country, because all this standing around outside in the rain and in the sun is not the best, because other international airports I've been to, there's a sitting area where there are even restaurants and fast food people where you can sit comfortably and await the arrival of your relation or whatever who's arriving.
No, even there with the remodeled terminals, we have created that facility. Not just
I don't see any in Lagos.
No, there are, but it's not just accessible to everybody because of the issue of security. If you go into Murtala Mohammed, you will see a stroll. There are places for commercial takings where we hope to bring in shops, pharmacies, banks that will be able to operate. We are trying to create an avenue where you can even come in and have lunch as you receive your visitors.
Yeah, and these are things. Men are still at the gates trying to stop people. If you don't have passport ticket, they won't let you in.
Yeah, because if you don't have business in the airport, you have a business.
I'm going to receive my guest who's arriving from the UK.
Yeah, if you explain that, you will be able to have access. But what we are trying to do, because of what the touts have turned our airports to, we had to take stringent measures to be able to secure the airports. And most people have attested to the fact that they come in, they have restaurants where they can sit while they are waiting for their families to come in, so long as you have proper clearance. But we can't have a situation where we just open our doors to everybody whose intentions are not very clear, who does not have business
there. Is our own situation with touts worse than the rest of the world?
No, the problem why ours is serious is that some of the passengers actually have their own touts. You find some passengers before they leave home for the airport, they'll call their touts, I'm coming to the airport.
So that
buy me a ticket. And we try to tell people you can buy your tickets online. So it takes away that. Those are realities that we are confronted with. And you can't go and see somebody and say you are a tout. What is the proof? So we are also appealing to travelers to please avail themselves with some of these facilities that are available. You can check it, you can buy your tickets online, so you don't need the services of these touts.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yakubu Dati, the General Manager of Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. We really appreciate your coming on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've been speaking with Yakubu Dati, the GM of Federal Aviation Authority here in Nigeria, and we'll be back in just a moment.